Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Toon Review for tonight's match review of the victory over Bromley. And obviously, we'll chat through some latest news as well as we go through. I'm Paul, and I'm joined tonight by Stato, who is sporting his new Toon Review hat. But welcome, everybody. Please do give it a like if you do enjoy the show tonight. And, of course, please do subscribe if you're new. As of going live, we are 2 subscribers away from 35,000. 2 subscribers. So if you are new and you like what you see, please click the subscribe button. Help us to get over 35 tonight. That would be very kind of you if you haven't already subscribed. And, of course, you can support the channel in the usual 2 ways. First of all, via membership, and that is the join button just underneath us. And, of course, super chats, which is the $ under the live chat. That will guarantee your comment to be read out on the show. And of course, big thank you to our sponsors, Mamaroo Records, based in Whitley Bay. Please pop in and see Steve if you're ever in the area for all your music needs, your vinyl, your CDs, your music merch, sport merch, and of course gift cards. If you can't get into Whitley Bay, they are online. Just click the link at the top of the description. So a massive thank you again to Mamaroo Records. Good evening, Stato.
Good evening, Paul. Good evening, Magpie Massive and everybody in Viewerland.
Yeah, it's become a script that now, hasn't it? Billy's really started.
Not a script. I mean it. I'm not reading from a piece of paper.
Well, indeed. I mean, we don't script these shows.
I think we might have dropped the butt. I think Susan, we might need another hat because my mother's not very happy.
Oh, okay. We'll see what we can do with that one. I do have a black one, which is next door, but if I put that on here, I will melt. But I have a feeling the others will get theirs very shortly as well.
It's probably going to come off after the first 10 minutes because the lights are pretty hot. So
yeah, it is. Now, I just want to start on a bit of a negative, if I may. Listen. Right, the Sean Longstaff. Okay. Now, I'm not his biggest fan. Not many Newcastle fans are. We do think he should move on, etc. However, personal abuse that he has been getting on social media is simply disgusting. And if you've been doing that and call yourself a fan of Newcastle United, you're a disgrace, quite honestly. Look, as a footballer, he is put out there, and we can praise and we can criticize and we can say he's not good enough. Call him crap and all of this. That's on a footballing side. But when it comes to a personal side of things, going at someone on social media, calling him what you have is absolute filth. So I just wanted to mention that, if you're a Newcastle United fan, just don't get personal, guys. It's, whatever we say on here is of a footballer nature, nothing personal against Sean. If he's not good enough, we'll say so. But nothing personal at all, and certainly not personal abuse. The man is a father. He's got a family. He's got a wonderful family behind him, actually. And that is quite simply disgraceful. We've seen it with Kai Havertz and the Arsenal fans, what they were writing to his wife on Instagram. What they were saying was beyond recognition, absolutely beyond words, what I've seen. It's bang out of order. So just lay off, guys. If you want to say that he's not good enough as a footballer, we should sell him, we should do this. Fine, that's a footballer nature, but don't get personal. It's really, really wrong. And you can say, you can say what you want as a footballer, right? But Jesus Christ, come on, guys. People are better than that. Marius, who's celebrating 2 years as a channel member. Thank you, Marius. After a good game from Miley, I think he is our first backup midfielder. I did discuss that on the video earlier on today. Toon Joe with a super chat saying Alex looking like the 4th level of Inception. Interesting. Mervyn Cox, thank you for your super chat. Callum Connor, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much for your support. And Emma is now 3 months into her membership. Thanks, Emma. Hi, Paul and Alex. Hope you're well. And let's bring on Wolves. Looking back at the game yesterday, Alex, it didn't start the way we wanted to because, nobody expected Bromley to score, to be quite honest. But they did, and it was a hell of a goal, to be fair.
What did I predict? I can't remember.
I
I mean,
think you went 3-1, Alex, if I'm openly honest. I think you got the score right.
Did I?
Don't quote me on that, but I think you went 3-1.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I don't actually remember predicting that, but now you've said it. I did honestly think that we might have a hiccup. I didn't think I didn't think it was going to be straight away. I thought they just might score at some point because we might make a dumb mistake. And to be fair, it wasn't actually a dumb mistake. Like, it wasn't a penalty or a slip, or it was more of just lackluster chasing, not winning a second ball, not dealing with it properly, which is still a mistake, but it's less of an obvious mistake. And then it was a really cracking strike from I can't remember his name. Was it
Clements or something? I
do apologise to the guy from Bromley. But it was a fantastic strike, left footed.
It was. Yeah.
Not top bins, it was bottom bins. And there were a few suggestions that maybe Martin Dubravka could have got there.
Nah, well, I'm not. I think looking at the replay, I think the way, if you look where he started that shot out, you know, it was going miles wide when he started it out. It was a bit, look, sometimes you just have to take your hat off. Instead of looking to criticize people, just say, you know, good goal, well taken. And get on with the game. You know, the problem is with us, sometimes we kind of analyze too hard and we look into something thinking, oh, could he have, let's just sit back and say, it was a great goal from the kid. And somebody remember for the rest of his life.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, it was a fantastic strike. It was fantastic. I think Luke Edwards posted a video from inside the away end, and I mean, the sex dolls included. It went pretty bonkers up there. There was one of them floating around. But yeah, the actual, in terms of mistake, I'm not going to blame Dubravka for that. I feel like I think there's a bit of debate as to who really should have been challenging more for that. I think Sean was best positioned to go for it. I think he was quite lethargic, a little bit lazy with it. Maybe it was a decision he made. He thought somebody else was in. He was closing down an angle potentially.
Well, there was 3 Newcastle players there, wasn't there? You know,
so Trippier one side, Sean front facing, and then Miley behind. And then once he turned, Miley was behind him. So it was really hard for Miley to try and prevent something. We needed to win that ball initially when it was available. Once he'd span, Miley was never going to get there beyond fouling him. So it's not on Miley, I don't think. I think maybe one of them or two of them should have contested that properly. Yeah. Or better, maybe. Not properly, just better. Because you don't have to win the ball back. You just have to prevent him spinning and getting a nice open shot on goal. Like, we definitely should have dealt with that a bit better.
Yeah. But by the way, Emma gifting a Toon Review membership. Thank you, Emma. And also, so has Joe Wilkinson. Thank you very much, guys, for that. Do you know what? I could have bet my house, right, on what I said at the start about personal abuse on social media, that some people, some happy clapper would come on in the chat and say, "Oh, pot kettle black," the things you say on the commentary. What did I just say? We say things saying, "Oh, Sean, you're shit," and all of this. That's football. That's what football fans do. But I tell you something now, I have never been on social media and personally abused the lad at all. And it's something I, nor Stato, nor Billy, nor Sam, or anybody related to this channel would ever do. We'd never go on social media.
Were a bit disgusting. Like, he posted, I don't think he should. Well, I mean, I say that.
I think he's got a right to do it. Yeah.
And to have people say, "Oh, you're not going to be in the next round, Sean, don't worry." And, just quite, just really
real personal nasty. Abuse.
No need for it.
You know, football fans will always say somebody's shit or should be sold. Yeah. Footballers
there was a lot of idiots yesterday on Twitter. I blocked quite a few
Jesus
people.
Christ.
There were people stating that Will Osula was terrible. There were people stating that Matty Target didn't have a good game at all. It's just people with absolutely... I mean, again, we say it, and this is one of those things, unfortunately, where Paul's right. People are entitled to those opinions. But I am also too entitled to block them because it's absolute nonsense.
Yeah,
there was a lot of that yesterday. We won. We're through to the next round. We got rotation players some minutes, and there were a lot of people very unhappy. It was kind of bizarre.
I would never take to social media and personally abuse a footballer. It just you don't know them as humans. We know them as footballers, and yes, we can say, "Oh, that's shite, get away, bollocks, that's rubbish." That's our entitlement as a football fan. But personal abuse. No. So don't come at me with your happy clapping crap saying, "Oh, pot kettle black," because I would never personally abuse somebody on social media and wish them dead or wish them this or wish them that. Not at all. I'll say shit because I have a right as a fan to say shit if he's playing shit. If he's playing well, I'll say he's playing well. End of story. Rachel Lilly, who is one of our mods and has been with us for a very long time now. She's also been a member for 30 months. Congratulations on 35k subscribers. Love being part of this fantastic channel. Yeah, we've hit it, Alex. As we stand, we are now at 35,003. So keep subscribing. Let's push above that, guys. If you are new, let's get well clear of the 35, and then we can properly celebrate. Trull says saying a player is shit isn't a personal attack. That's saying he isn't good enough for us anymore. There's a big difference. Absolutely. I expect Longstaff isn't good enough, but to abuse this lad is terrible. Well done, Paul. Get these bums out of the chat. It's not really the chat on here. It's the people on social
responding
media
to his personal tweet on social media.
Yeah, some
really
of them
nasty.
Yeah, it is
Sean's not necessarily going to see if somebody in this chat says so and so is crap at football. They might not see it. They probably won't see it. But when it's directed specifically at the tweet that the player themselves have posted, he is probably going to look at it. If it's near the top, he's definitely going to see that.
Of course he is.
Unless he just posts it and just does this, which nobody has that level of self-control. Everybody has a look. So it's,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it can't be nice for him.
Tarek has gifted a Toon Review membership. Thank you, Tarek, as has one of our mods, Ian Fleming. Thank you very much for that, Ian. Much appreciated, buddy. Peter says, I thought Target had a really good game. Even more impressive that he hasn't played in so long. I mean, Alex, you know, when we come to do the play ratings, we'll talk about each individual in more detail. But, you know, there was players that played yesterday who haven't been playing and came in and did a really good job. And there was players who should have done better and didn't.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. We had players like Osula that I think took his chance well. He had to play a variety of different roles, being a hold-up centre forward, pinning centre halves back with Joe Linton at times, sometimes trying to go out wide, pressing relentlessly. And when he got a couple of decent opportunities, the Lewis Miley through ball, and then the eventual goal that he scored, and he took the second one, and he looked pretty decent for the first one. He didn't quite make it happen, but you know, he's still, for what we're trying to mold him into, I thought it was okay. Yeah. I thought it was a really, really good performance, a really, really good goal as well. I thought target was really solid.
The goal was sensational. It was absolutely brilliant.
It was fantastic. I mean, we are kind of missing people who can do that from the left-hand side, because Murphy's been struggling with that left foot. As good as Murphy's been, he's tried quite a number of those left-footed bends, and he's not really got any of them right. Will Osula's scored the first one he's tried, so we'll see if it's a flash in the pan in regards to that type of goal.
Yeah.
But we have seen him do it a couple of times in sort of youth clips for Sheffield United.
I think he looked lively, Alex. I think he looked lively from the off. He wanted to get stuck in. He wanted the ball. He didn't shy away from anything. And then to take that goal on, that took a lot of balls. It doesn't matter who it's against, to actually do that. And what a way to get your first goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for everybody that's maybe on and ahhing about certain things he's not as good at yet, I think we've purchased him because he's got all the same raw attributes as Isak. And please don't clip this out of context. Please listen to this next bit before anybody completely loses their head. I'm not suggesting he's even remotely in the same stratosphere as Alexander Isak. But in terms of the profile of player, the height, the general build, I mean, he's a bit meatier than Isak, but still. And the general raw qualities in his game, it's not a million miles away in terms of attribute distribution. And I think it's somebody that if we can mold right, it means that we've got a player that can come in and we don't have to change how we play, which is really good. Sometimes it's nice to have like a Chris Wood as a different option. But having somebody who could come in and we can try exactly the same thing, you know, I know he's a bit older than some people. You know, people saying, look, he's 21. We shouldn't be treating him like he's a 17, 18-year-old youth academy player. Yeah, I agree. But the position he's playing in is one of the hardest positions to get really good at in world football. You know, there's loads of centre-halves who are really competent. How many players are at the top end of the goal-scoring charts? Not that many. So it's quite hard to do. You know, everybody wants to be a goal scorer. You know, 99% of people who grew up wanting to be a footballer in this chat
They all want to be a striker, yeah.
You all wanted to be a striker. Anybody that says you didn't, I'm sorry, but I don't believe you. There's always the one kid that wants to be the goalkeeper, but most of you all wanted to be a striker. It's no different for professional footballers. Most of them started off somewhere up front, and then when they joined an academy, they got moved into different positions based on attributes and growth. So it's one of those things.
A couple more new members. James Volpe and Johnny Meatballs are both new members of the channel. Thank you very much, guys. And thank you for your ongoing support. Welcome to Members Club. Now, Alex, I have just literally read a report before we went live, which, according to French publication L'Equipe, Newcastle have emerged as a surprise name in the race for Napoli winger Kvaratskhelia during the winter window. PSG are still firm favourites to sign him. However, they have reservations with regard to the finances of the deal, which may open the door slightly for the Magpies to pounce. If Howe wanted to add some star quality to his first team squad, it would cost the club around 80 million euros, which is 68 million pounds to make it happen. I mean, that's a lot of money, but that is a dream signing, Alex.
Yeah. Okay. So my opinion on the likelihood of us potentially getting Kvaratskhelia is how we're going to say
it's probably around 5%.
No. My opinion on that is ha 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 ha. No, not a chance.
It has come from a decent source, Alex. L'Equipe aren't
a French publication who they print everything though. They print every rumor. So
that's true. That's true.
Look, I appreciate. Is there some validity in some of the articles? Yeah, of course there is, but they just print everything. As does our media, as does the Italian media. They print the lot. I'm sorry, but that's a proper statement. We would have to drop the proverbial schlong on the table and go, look, we're gonna put
what the hell is a proverbial schlong, Alex?
we're gonna have to bring. I'm sorry, but Paul Mitchell and whoever walks into those negotiations is gonna have to walk in the room with a big leather chair. He's gonna make sure he's got to wear 2 ties to the meeting, not 1. We've got to, it's not happening, guys. It's not happening. I'm sorry. The amount of wages and the package that people could offer him. I think the only marginal 1% in this is obviously Vaktan Salia, the young Georgian, has just done his interview. He's just been for a little tour. Newcastle have just done a video on it. And he, quite lovely, actually. I really liked this. He was asked a question that he was offered the chance of several clubs. What made you choose Newcastle? And he said, my father, or my what was it, father and agent, or uncle and agent? I think it was father and agent told me of the famous Georgians who played for the club, and it's the right decision. So there is an element of some players choose it based on heart. That is the only tiny sliver of hope that I feel like this could be a thing. But other than that, look, this is a player who's in probably the top over the last 3 years. He's in the top 5 right wingers on the planet. For us to be buying people who are in Ballon d'Or conversations, we're a bit early in our journey for that. I do think we are. Unless we decide to, if we can get 2 or 3 sales in and we decide to throw the kitchen sink at this and not buy other positions. I mean, we tried to join the Olise race before he went to Bayern.
We did,
apparently. So
you never say never, Alex, is what I will say. But guys, those of you asking about the prizes from the Christmas show, they will all be going out this week. They will all be being sent this week. So don't worry, guys. They are all packed and ready to go, and they'll be getting sent this week. Graham says, what are you saying, Alex? It must be true if it says it in the papers. Well, especially L'Equipe. I mean, people are making a big thing about your schlong and package in the same sentence, Alex.
I can say.
Marco says, have to agree with Stato. We are a growing club, not a top one yet. I mean, to say it would be a statement signing, Alex, would be an understatement, wouldn't it? If we got him.
Oh, I think that's. So it's difficult to kind of put into perspective, but I think the players we've signed so far in your Trippiers, Botmans, Isaks, Tonali's, Bruno's, they were either players that top clubs weren't 100% sure were going to work.
Yeah.
Or we just joined the race at the right time, a little bit earlier. We were offering a little bit of a better deal at a more difficult time. Like Tonali wasn't having their best time in Italy. It was slightly difficult time for Milan. But that bracket of players, Kvaratskhelia at this moment in time is in the next bracket above that. You're talking about people who are playing for clubs, who are consistently winning trophies, who are challenging at the top end of everything. Like Napoli have gone deep, have had deep Champions League runs. They've won a Scudetto recently. Like they are top. Like for example, when we got Bruno Guimaraes and Sven Botman, their clubs, Lyon and Lille, were not doing deep runs in the Champions League at all. Lyon were nowhere near winning.
And they really needed the money.
They needed the cash. And Lille did win the league in the year Botman played all the games, but still they weren't deep. I mean, AC Milan for Tonali, you could argue potentially were a bit more competent. I think got through to the semi-finals, got knocked out by Inter. And Sociedad for Isak, they weren't sort of a club that were doing deep runs in the Champions League. This is different. This is a guy who plays for a club. It's different. It is in the next bracket above, in my opinion, and I just don't think it's feasible at all at this moment in time. Maybe in 2 or 3 years, if we nail finances and squad sort of rotation, and possibly.
A lot of people are asking if we've heard Piers Morgan today. Unfortunately, yes, I did.
People have been telling me about it, but I haven't seen it.
And it just saying how Arsenal need to break the bank again, talking about Isak, they need to get everything. Just unbelievable, man. Who are these people? You know, and I mean, I've just seen a report now saying that Manchester City could look at Livramento as a replacement for Kyle Walker. It really is unbelievable. You know, I mean, who do these people think they are? Just that they can go in and just snatch a player. It's ridiculous, man. Have some bloody respect.
Well, I mean, look, it's win-win for us. It's win-win. We either keep really good players or we make an absolute killing on the transfer fee, because we wouldn't let them go unless it was something we could not turn down. Like if they come in with like a 75 mil bid for Tino Livramento, then you start going, yeah, maybe go on then. But obviously, if they come in at the sort of 30, 40, you just like absolutely just get out of the room. No. So it's win-win for us. We either keep a really good player or we make stupid amounts of money. So it's a perfect situation for us. Yeah.
And on the Miggy front, it looks like this. Well, he could end up in 3 different countries at the minute. There is quite a lot of interest in him from. I think I read Brazil today, and obviously,
there's a few Brazilian,
Argentina, and of course MLS still in there. So I really do think Miggy will leave in this window.
Or despite his agent coming out and saying that all of those are false and there's been no bids.
I don't.
But he's probably just
Yeah. I mean, given his performance yesterday. I mean, look, just no. I mean, against League Two opposition, he didn't do anything. Graham says, put your outrage away, Paul. If City come in with Alex's slong, what are you going to do? I really don't know how to answer that one. Julie says, huge compliments to Eddie and recruitment that our players are getting this attention. Look, it quite blatantly pisses people off when Newcastle are linked with getting these big names now. We're not supposed to be there. Even just being mentioned in the news reports pisses a lot of people off. The same with trying to go in for our players, because they still believe in their own minds that Newcastle United are a feeder club. We know as fans we're not anymore. The club knows that we're not. We're not run by Mike Ashley, who's just looking to make profits constantly and run Newcastle United as a cash cow. These people who own us now, they want to win things. And, you know, it's laughable now. It's laughable the way they talk, because they know, like Alex's big motivational speech last week when he said, we're coming for you. You know, that's exactly what we're doing. And they are terrified. However, Alex, One guy I did talk about in the news show earlier on today was Lewis Miley. And he was just simply bloody sensational. Now, before we talk about him, he did speak to NUFC TV after the game. And this is what the kid had to say about the performance.
Lewis, a win, a goal, and man of the match as well. Not a bad afternoon's work.
No, it wasn't too bad, obviously. I'm buzzing with my goal in especially 90 minutes, obviously. It's been a long time coming, really, and now I'm really happy with my performance today.
How was your first start for quite a long time here at St James's? You've had to wait a long time, as you mentioned there. What did that feel like to be back in the starting lineup?
Oh yeah, I was buzzing as soon as I got told I was starting. It was a relief, really, obviously, because it's been a long time, and I think I've done really well today, and hopefully I get lots more minutes soon.
You've obviously been back fit for quite some time. You've had to bide your time a little bit and wait for that chance. What's that been like?
Yeah, I think it's good as well, obviously, being with top players every day, training with them. It can only make us better. Obviously, I was out for a long time, so I think I had to get back going again, and I think I'm back to myself now again.
It looked like a fairly comfortable win in the end today. It didn't look like that early on when you fell behind. What was the sort of thought process when Bromley scored there?
I think all the lads were just telling everyone to stay calm, really, obviously, because everyone can go a bit hectic after Bromley scoring, but I think we've done well to get it back. Obviously, my goal, I think it changed it a bit, and I think in the second half we moved the ball a lot faster, and I think that helped us a lot.
It was a fantastic equaliser from yourself there. That must have felt like one of those where, did you know it was going in as soon as it left your foot?
I wasn't too sure because I hit my laces, but then I just saw it driving into the corner. I was really happy, and I think it helped us get back into the game.
Now, Alex, for someone of 18-year-old, he talks so maturely. As he does play on the pitch, he plays with incredible maturity. But what I really liked about that interview is when he was asked about coming back from injury and, getting some minutes on the pitch, he didn't turn around and say, "Oh, I want to push for a start." He acknowledged and how brilliant it is to work with the three that are in front of him, like Joe Linton, Tonali, Bruno, and so level-headed to talk about them and how much he's learning from them, rather than say, "Oh yeah, I'm desperate to get in." And he understands.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a good set of I think he's got good people around him. Obviously,
I was wondering where you were going with that, given what you've already said tonight, but fair enough.
No. He's got good people around him in his family. Of course, all of his brothers are involved in the club and play. I don't quite know what his parents have done, if he's got heritage in the family for sort of professional sports, but he's obviously being advised very well. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe this has been explained to him, or maybe he himself is just a really intelligent young man, or a combination of all of those things.
Yeah,
he knows that he's going to get there. I think he will have been told, and he will understand that he's going to grow a bit physically. And I think, to be fair, I think he handled the physical capabilities of playing against a rough and tumble League Two side superbly. He did not have any issues with physicality in that game, and he knows he's got some fantastic midfielders to learn from. I mean, look at the three starters, typical starters in Bruno, Tonali, and Joe Linton. You've got three slightly different profiles of players that are all elite at the specific things they're good at. Mm-hmm. So the learning this kid can do, he's open to that. He looks like he's got both feet on the ground. He's very, very grounded. He understands where there are improvements. He's not getting too carried away with himself. Mm-hmm. And we could have somebody. I mean, it looks like maybe there's a couple of things I'd like to see improved. But I saw some interesting defensive work from him sitting in that six. He definitely needs to improve his sort of under pressure stuff. I'm going to say stuff. We won't go technical. And also his recovery runs bit slow. So we maybe a couple of those points, and all of a sudden you've got somebody who is a Premier League quality six quite quickly. Yeah. Obviously, they're two very difficult things to develop, but why not? If we can get this right in his development, he looks like he could be fantastic for us in this squad as an 8 or a 6. Yeah. If we can keep developing him. So this is one of the reasons why I think Sean's going to be maybe a little bit frustrated. I mean, I don't know if he knows.
Well, Alex, I said in the early video, I think Lewis Miley is a class above Sean now. I think he's there's a massive difference.
I would agree.
Between the two.
I would agree, but my point is something different. My point is, when you're ranking the choice of midfielders that Eddie's going to go with for games, it's obviously going to be Joe Linton, Tonali, Bruno as the starting three, and then you're looking at Willock has been the next most used player.
Well, he's injured again.
Then it's no, I know, but I'm just in about the pecking order.
Yeah.
So it's Willock. Then it looks like it may be Miley soon because of how he's doing, and then that leaves Sean down in 6th position for a rotation midfielder. So,
well, there has been talk. There has been rumours again of Sean leaving this month as well as Miggy. So, I just think that Miley is so composed on the ball. He doesn't. He's certainly not as slow in decision making as Sean is. Yes, I agree with you. There's still improvements to be made, but the kid's 18, and he is at a level now where the future is anything it can be for him. And certainly working under Eddie Howe and working, like he said in his interview, with the players that he's working with now, it's absolutely superb. The future's his oyster kind of thing. Catherine Brown says, hi, all new to the channel, but what a goal for Miley and really glad he got man of the match. Thank you, Catherine. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully you've got yourself subscribed. Thank you very much. And a super chat from Peter Garthwaite says, the likes of Miggy will only leave. It's decided to take it off the screen for me. Thank you very much for that. The likes of Miggy will only leave if Eddie Howe is overruled, which now should happen. If Mitchell and Howe can't work together, then one needs to go. Look, Peter, I wouldn't panic on it. I think Eddie knows in his own mind, certainly. I think he's proved that by how many times he's used Miggy this season, that he's surplus to requirements. You know, Eddie doesn't have to come out and say that. He doesn't have to say anything. But read into it. I mean, we may be completely wrong, but if you read into it, the fact that Miggy hasn't come on in some situations where you would probably expect him to come on, and he hasn't been used as a sub, that tells a story for me. But anyway, let's hear from the manager now, because Eddie also spoke to NUFC TV after the game.
Well, Eddie, not quite as straightforward a day as perhaps some might have expected today, but you're safely through to the 4th round. What was your take on that performance?
Yeah, as you say, it was a tough game, a tough start for us to the match. I thought Bromley, firstly, I have to say, played very well today. I thought they made it difficult for us. They had a big physical threat in the game, direct play, set plays, long throws, and we knew that coming into the game. We prepared for it, but still defending it and executing our plan is another matter. Their first goal comes from a long ball. We don't deal well enough with the second ball. It's a great finish from their perspective. And then we gave ourselves a much harder task, having conceded. But I think, in credit to us, great response from the players from that moment onwards.
9 changes you made to the team today. What was the thinking behind that?
Well, I just think the games that we've had, the high-level games as well, some players needed a rest today. I think it would have been difficult, again, going into a 3-game week to ask those same players to play again. So it was a chance for the squad today to take the burden and to show their qualities. I don't think it was the perfect performance from us. I don't think we were at our best by any means. But I think it was important that we did trust the squad, and they responded positively in the next round, and we've got some good minutes into their legs.
You mentioned the early goal there and the response to it. You had to be patient at times, particularly in the first half. What pleased you most about the way you kind of recovered, especially in the second half?
Yeah, probably the most pleasing spell for me is the second half, probably the first 20 minutes of that second half. I thought we were much better. That's how we want to play. The first half we were a little bit slow, a little bit disjointed, too many long balls, didn't connect well enough in the final third, but I think there's reasons for that. As I said, the players, you know, when you play together regularly, you get that rhythm. They didn't have the rhythm. The lads, I think individually there were some good performances, but as an overall team, we weren't quite at our best.
So admitting that they weren't quite at the best, Alex, but also admitting that, you know, with the 9 changes, that was always going to be the case, because those guys aren't used to playing week in, week out with each other. And you know, it was a perfect chance to rest some players that needed it, that have worked very hard over the last few weeks getting the results that we have.
Yeah, we absolutely needed to rotate, because there were players that needed and deserved a rest. There were players that needed to come back in to get some minutes for sharpness, such as Fabian Scher needed to come back in and play. Lloyd Kelly needed to play for some sharpness. I've got a little unplanned quiz for you, Paul. We'll take sort of only 30 seconds, but Paul doesn't know I've got this little quiz lined up for him. What was our back 4 against Bromley?
Our back 4 against Bromley?
Mm-hmm.
Trippier, Scher, Kelly, and Target.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, Lee Ryder seems to think that Sven Botman played.
Oh dear.
In the Chronicle.
Oh dear.
So Yeah, I know. I just thought I'd be a bit funny. I'm sure it's probably not Lee Ryder because I'm pretty sure.
And
he
made an early error as well. So
I think somebody editing wise has accidentally stuck the Spurs thing in there because that looks like what happened in the Spurs game for Sven Botman. But yeah, maybe check your work. You get paid for that, mate. Never mind.
Or somebody's had a Castor at the Chronicle. Yeah, I mean, by the way, we had somebody calling you out, Alex, and I think you have a right to reply. The bloke in the white hat is clueless. Miley played as more attacking midfielder in the under-18s and under-21, so no idea why he wants to turn him into a 6. Makes no sense at all.
Oh, sorry, Chris. Did Eddie not use him as a 6 literally yesterday?
He did, yeah.
I mean, mate, you need to take that up with Eddie Howe. It's none of my business. Like, look, Miley's played far more attacking, and I've also seen him play in the 10 role for England at youth level. So I agree with the stuff I've seen previously, but Miley was the deepest midfielder basically most of that game yesterday and was pinging the ball around like a competent 6. There were things missing from his game to be a competent 6. But now he's got some physicality as well.
Yeah,
I don't really know long term.
He's definitely bumped.
Yeah.
I think that's for Eddie to work. Eddie to work out.
Well, though. I'm pretty sure. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, everyone, but I'm pretty sure there's an interview somewhere of Eddie Howe saying he doesn't know where he's going to end up long term.
Yeah,
as a defensive midfielder, as an attacking midfielder.
But that's for Eddie
in an interview.
That is for Eddie and the team to work out, though, isn't it? When he's got an 18-year-old who can play brilliantly in such varied positions in midfield, he's got to then decide, right. He'll probably work with Miley over the next however long and say, right, where do we put you? Where are you most comfortable playing? He will work with Miley on that, and Miley will become the player he will through coaching, and the position will just become his position.
Yeah, bloke called Chris in the chat. Kind regards, guy in the white hat.
Yeah, but there you go. Honestly. Anyway, let's do the player ratings because obviously we haven't rated some of these players this season at all. So as usual, guys, please do put in the chat your player ratings as well and see if you agree with ours. Start off with Dubravka, Alex.
I mean, that's a difficult one to rate. I mean, he's conceded and he didn't have to do a lot, so... I mean, I would typically go with something like a 7 in a game like this, where he's not been involved too much. But then I'm going to take a point off for conceding because I do feel like maybe he could have done a teensy-weensy bit better with that. I think that's maybe a bit harsh on Martin Dubravka, but I'll go with a 6. But it was a really quiet game for him. So
yeah, I think he's set his standards now, though, hasn't he? With his performances in the Premier League, he's kind of upped his standards. Popcorn Man has a super chat. Anderson was a huge loss. Sell Sean and replace. Well, I mean, Anderson's a very, very different player to what Sean was, to be honest, or is. I've gone with a 7 for Dubravka, Alex. I thought, I'm not looking at the goal. I think sometimes, like I said earlier in the show, you just have to admit when the opposition score a good goal. Could we have done better in the build-up? Absolutely. But listen, take nothing away from the kid. It was a brilliant finish. And just a big shout out to Bromley fans, actually, because they've been extremely complimentary on social media about their whole experience of Newcastle United before the game, interacting with the Newcastle fans during the game, after the game. They've had nothing but good things to say about their visit to St James's Park. So thank you, Bromley, and good luck for the rest of your season as well. Trippier.
I'm coming for me today. Bloody hell, what's going on? I'm guessing Alex has never made a mistake in his life. That's not true. I've made a mistake just now by reading your comment.
If you watch the channel regularly, you will know that Alex does not make mistakes in his own world. I wouldn't worry.
Oh, we do need to do a man of the match, by the way.
Oh, crap. Okay, right. Hang on a minute. Right. Let me just... Now, again, we can only put 4 players in, guys, before anybody kicks off in the chat again. Some people have been on the red meat today. Clearly, Oh, what if I put emojis?
I'm chilling today, but some people are a little bit unhappy. Is it the white hat?
It might be the hat, Alex. It could be the hat.
I don't know.
Maybe it's aggressive. I don't. No. You're advertising.
It's a little bit small for my fat head, but I like it. It's a cute hat.
But the better when they're smaller because they fit better tighter, Alex. That's all about wearing a hat, so it doesn't come off. Right. So
Billy's not here.
Yes. Man of the match. I'm going for Lewis Miley. Alex?
Yeah, Miley's a good shout. I think Matt Targett's got to go in there as well, definitely.
Indeed. Right, who's my second option? You know what? I'm going to put Will Osula.
Yeah, good shout. I think those are the three really obvious ones. The fourth option now becomes really tricky.
Which is your choice?
I mean, we can fight on it together, but
no, I'm leaving
Mickey
this
and
down
Bards
to
are
you.
definitely out of that question. Sean, no. Joe Linton, meh. Kelly and Cher, Kieran Trippier. I mean, Kieran Trippier was just working with absolute dross around him. Bless him.
Yeah, but
I think we should have. It's like he was doing community service, trying to make something happen on that right hand side.
Well, we can just go with 3 if you want, Alex. We don't have to put 4.
Unless somebody's put Botman, Shipper Sharp. Unless anybody's got a decent shout. Oh, to be fair, Bruno came on. Bruno and Gordon were really good when they came on. That's like a really good point, actually.
Yeah.
This is why we need you guys. Mate, it's got to be between Bruno or Gordon because the rest of them weren't really
we'll do
good
something.
enough,
We'll do something different this week, Alex. Okay, right?
You just put 3 in.
No. Your choices for man of the match are Lewis Miley, Matt Targett, Will Osula, or a joint man of the match to Bruno and Gordon. There you go.
That's fair.
So that poll is now available. Let's get back to the player ratings. Kieran Trippier. Listen, I didn't think much of Trippier yesterday. I thought he had an opportunity plenty times to get crosses in. There's no point having a guy that's 6 foot odd in the box and not put any crosses in for him. I thought, the times he was available to put balls into the box and he didn't. It went back to the days of where it looked like we were trying to walk the ball in again. And I didn't like that. So I've gone with a 5. Alex?
I'm going to go with a 7. I thought I liked what Trippier was trying to do, but I'll go with my earlier comment in that he was basically performing community service, trying to make something happen with Sean and Miggy next to him on the right. Dear Lord.
Well, that is.
Oh my God! It was like, poor guy. The amount of I think maybe Paul, that's a part reason why we didn't get as many balls in the box because he was trying to engineer the cross.
Maybe
he weren't doing anything with it.
Maybe, but there were times that there was no movement in front of him, but he did have space where he could cross the ball. But instead, he waited.
I think that's what we've been trained to do, though, to try and engineer the.
Yeah, I don't like that because I'm getting used to the football we've been playing, i.e., Premier League, where we're so much quicker. But I can understand.
Trippier, good in the tackle, 120 touches with 90% passing accuracy. He made 3 key passes, 1 accurate cross, 4 accurate long balls. Could we have got more from him? Yes, but I think he definitely needed some at least moderately competent footballers on the day next to him, and he didn't have that. So I feel like it really makes Trippier look worse with just Miggy. I don't know what. I think he was watching a different game.
Fair enough. Okay, Fabian Cher, Alex.
Fabian Cher, I mean, he's important in these kinds of games because obviously there's not a lot of space when they kind of sit that deep. So having a technical centre half really helps. Having somebody who can be that an extra passing option. He was good. 94% passing accuracy, 9 accurate long balls to try and get us on the break. I mean, his shot was absolutely diabolical, but we'll forget that.
I mean, even he laughed at that. Even he laughed at that.
He giggled. It was so bad.
He did. Yeah.
I'll go with a 7. It was fine. It was all right.
Yeah, I've gone with the same. I've gone for a 7 as well. I don't think he was tested defensively. I thought he hit some fantastic crossfield balls. Don't get me wrong. Some of them, there was one to Gordon in the second half, which was just sublime. But then that shot, I mean, it was just so funny watching him turn around because he was trying to stay serious face, but I think he looked at a couple of his teammates who were obviously goading him. and he couldn't help but have a side smirk as if to say, what the fuck was that? But yeah, he looked okay. Lloyd Kelly, I think Lloyd Kelly looked all right yesterday. I don't think there was any problem with Lloyd Kelly. I think he defended well. There was one particular thing I was really impressed with. Second half, there was a long ball came into our penalty area. He was getting challenged, and it was a beautiful cushioned header back to Dubravka. I didn't have a problem with Lloyd Kelly yesterday, so I've gone with a 7. Alex?
I completely agree. I've seen a lot online of people say just outright saying that wasn't good enough from Lloyd Kelly and we should tell him. I don't understand. I think I must have been watching a different game. I thought he was fine. Yeah. There was a pass out to Harvey Barnes that Harvey Barnes just did not move for, which is 100% Harvey Barnes' fault, by the way. So anybody who wasn't happy with that Kelly performance, please can you explain why you weren't super happy with it? Because
I just thought he was just. The two centre-backs were as good as each other yesterday, I thought. But
yeah, I mean, don't just say it was crap. Explain what was missing. Why did we not like it? Because I don't know. I don't think he did anything.
I mean,
wrong, really.
Niall says he could have closed the space for their goal a bit quicker. He could have come out a little bit quicker. Yeah, but when you've got three Newcastle players around the kid, and then it's sort of, he got the shot away very quickly. He took the shot really quick, which I think is. But
well, I mean, technically, is that not on Fabian Schär's side? Oh, I guess it was a little bit, funny one. We should have just done better with the second ball. Eddie Howe said as much, so that's Eddie Howe's words.
Yeah. So what are you giving him, Alex?
7 as well.
7 as well.
Although, okay, let me change.
Too late. I've already written it down.
Yeah, but I think Fabian Schär had a slightly better game, so I want to give Fabian Schär a 7.5.
All right.
I think Fabian was better than Lloyd Kelly, so I need to reflect that in the mark.
I thought they were as good as each other, to be honest. I didn't have a problem with either of them.
I think the distribution of long balls were a little bit better by Fabian Schär.
Okay.
Compared to Lloyd Kelly.
Matt Targett, Alex.
Oh, what a boy. What a boy. I love it. Absolutely love that performance from him. Huge technical drop-off compared to what Lewis Hall gives us. However, what a warrior. What an absolute warrior. At least we know if we can keep him fit and whatever was wrong with his eczema and health issues, hopefully we can keep that under control because we seem to have Mr. Solid Matt Targett back, who was really steady. But I say really steady. He was really steady and good. Won us a penalty. By the way, 6 key passes. That's absurd. He's a left back. That's bonkers. 5 accurate long balls. He got an accurate cross in. Yeah. Really competent. Really good in the duel. Fantastic from Matty Targett. I think I'm going to give him a 9. I thought he was brilliant.
Exactly the same for me, mate. I've gone for a 9. He made himself available brilliantly for certainly for Harvey Barnes down that left-hand side. And I think he did a lot more work than Harvey Barnes. I mean, look, we'll come on to him later, but he put some brilliant crosses in. He was always a threat, defensively solid from what he had to do. It was a great game for him to come back into, and hats off to the guy.
A few people in the chat correctly stating Barnes didn't help him. Oh, I agree. Barnes kept underlapping and going central and being.
We'll come on to Harvey Barnes.
Bit selfish.
Yeah,
but this is in respect to Matt Targett. Matt Targett was kind of stood there, and because he'd got no overlap or support, he was kind of hung out to dry. And he still dealt pretty well with the situation. So,
I mean, Warren's saying there, remember who we were playing. Well, we can only give these player ratings on their performance against Bromley. That's we can't just say, we're giving him a 6, but he played excellent, but it was only Bromley. We have to give a score. Lewis Miley. Well, I mean, look, Lewis Miley scored a goal, had a hand in the other 2. I mean, what more could you ask for Lewis Miley to come back? It's a 10 from Len. I thought he was absolutely magical yesterday. And the way he played after so long out, and I don't care if it was against Bromley, he can only go and do what he does against that opposition. And to have the impact he had, absolutely wonderful. Alex?
I mean, I wasn't overly happy with the tracking early doors, but I don't think that's I think I'm still going to give the 10 purely because it was such a colossal performance in every other aspect. Eddie trusted him with the whole game. So statistically, he scored a 9.2 on SofaScore, which is pretty enormous. I think Isak's the only player who scored higher than that so far for us this season on SofaScore because he scored a hat-trick. That's absurd from the young man. 133 touches of the ball.
Yep.
So the fact that we're using that young man as such a conductor and outlet because we trust him that much to go and pull strings. 110 accurate passes is absurd. 5 key passes. One of those was the absolutely disgusting through ball for Will Osula.
For Will Osula, yeah.
That was it. So for anybody saying, can he do a bit of creativity like Bruno? That was filthy. The vision to put that through was insane. 2 big chances created. An absolute thunderbolt of a goal as well on top of it. Ground duels, aerial duels, competed really well. 5 out of 8 ground, 1 out of 2 aerial. Fantastic physically. 4 tackles, a clearance and interception. It was almost a complete performance. If he'd have won that second ball, it'd have been literally a complete performance from the young man. Just ridiculous. So good.
Warren says, I was on about building him up, not just the game. He's not good enough, in my opinion.
What, for Lewis Miley?
Lewis Miley.
What, you mean the kid that played Champions League minutes for us and we did quite well in those games?
Warren, I'm not sure what you're watching, buddy. I'm a little bit surprised by that comment. But hey, everyone to their own. Nick Thornton celebrating 21 months as a member on the channel. Thank you very much, Nick. At 18, the kid is immense. Our future captain, without a doubt. Well, there you go. Listen, I don't care about the captaincy. I just want him to become an elite player with Newcastle United. If he's captain later on down the line, then fair enough. Okay, Sean Longstaff.
Okay, fair enough.
He's talking about Target. Target. Okay,
Target had a really good game, but still, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough, Warren. I was going to say, I thought you'd been drinking something very strange tonight. But okay, I understand that. Fair enough. Right, Sean Longstaff.
I want to give silence on a score, but I guess on people watch because they wanted, I guess, a bit of an opinion on it.
Well, if it's any consolation, Alex, there is a lot of zeros coming in on my screen right now. 2s, 3s.
All right, so let's eye test, specifically eye test, not just stats. Eye test, I thought he was lazy. I thought he was slow on the ball. He dithered. He was lethargic. His decision-making was poor. It wasn't good in duels. Second balls were crap. Kept good positional play to find himself in the box on multiple occasions, but then poor to not have the ability to do anything with it. It was a really poor showing for somebody at his age as a senior pro, who's, bearing in mind, played at lower league. He's played for Blackpool when they were in League One, I believe. It was yeah. I think he's gonna. He's not going to be happy with this himself. I think if he's not, he needs to give his head a shake because he'll know that was shocking. 5 ground duels attempted, 0, 1, 0. When Miley's out physicaling you, Sean, mate, that's meant to be your bread and butter. And you didn't. Not only did you not butter the bread, you didn't get the bread out of the bread bin. Like that was. I'm gonna give him a 1 based on the opposition. I'm gonna give him a 1. You can't turn up as a senior pro and do that. You cannot. He was a lucky boy to not have been subbed off. I think he was. That's his worst performance so far this season, and that will not have helped him in selection headaches for Eddie Howe at all. Because I think it's clean through going to be Miley from now on. So the only hope for Sean is that Willock's hurt himself and that he might get some minutes. Basically, it.
Well, apparently he's injured again, but we'll maybe see if obviously Eddie's got his press conference tomorrow, so we'll hear.
We don't want world-class performances from Sean. We're not asking for world-class performances. We're just asking for the rotation player who's good physically to put in rotation player performances and be good physically.
Yeah.
Is that really too much? If it is, then I'm sorry, but I feel like that's got to be the minimum, surely.
I mean, we don't often get to see Longstaff and Miley on the pitch at the same time, do we? We haven't had that sort of comparison, but based on yesterday, I mean, Jesus.
Well, I kept backing him up this year. So far this season, I've kept supporting him and say, look, we need him because he's good physically, he's experienced, and he keeps not doing those things properly. So the things that he's supposedly good at, he's been really poor at so far this season. But I mean, the only game that I think he did it really well in was the Southampton performance, game 1 at St James's Park. He helped to kind of close that, and we won the game.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I think all of those performances, he's been lacking physicality, experience. It's I don't know what's wrong with him.
Graham Hedworth says, as a Forest fan, I would say that should be Longstaff's last game for you. And that's coming from a Forest fan. I mean, that's not even a Newcastle fan. So thank you, Graham. I've given 0.5.
I forgot I could go lower than a 1, but yeah, I'll stay with a 1.
I mean, listen, there's a lot of minuses in the chat, put it that way. There is a lot of minuses. But I've given 0.5 just for simply running onto the pitch. I thought he had a huge opportunity yesterday to really take control of the midfield, and show what he could do against lower league opposition. But he just didn't. I mean, he got knocked off the ball loads of times. His passing. There was a 1-yard pass in the first half that he passed straight to a Bromley player.
Yeah, he wasn't looking, was he? He looked
a 1-yard pass, Alex,
and he missed it.
Dear God!
I remember that.
I mean,
it was so bad.
Billy was going absolutely bloody nuts. He was surprised. Like, "It's a 1-yard pass."
For Sean, he's got to be careful as well, because we haven't mentioned one thing. I mean, I don't like using this phrase because it's a very Barcelona phrase, but he himself is a financial lever for this club. Because we get pure profit if we sell him. The powers that be kind of are always going to be looking at that as a possible option. Yeah. If he keeps doing stuff like this, he's not helping himself at all. He's really not.
Yep. Okay, let's look at Joe Linton now. I thought Joe Linton was steady away. Nothing. I don't think he stood out really, did he, Big Joe, yesterday? But listen, he only played the first half, didn't he? So I think the change was Joe looked a bit tired for me. And rightly so. He's played a lot of games, which I think is why he came off. I've gone with a 6. Alex?
Yeah, probably fair. I think there's a slight similar story with what I said about Trippier. I think he was having to play babysitter a little bit. I think he was tasked on several occasions with going, like when we were in the box and they were literally defending in the box, he was going as a left-sided striker, basically. We had Osula on the right, Joe Linton on the left, trying to pin centre-halves in as we were trying to make something happen. But then he'd also got Barnes just stepping all over his toes.
And then he's having to play with Longstaff in the midfield as well.
And then he was having to try and fix what Longstaff wasn't doing.
Yeah.
It was a lot of babysitting for Joe Linton and putting out fires. He wasn't able to do his stuff. So I'll go with a 6, but it's not because, it's not an insult to Joe Linton. It's because he was having to try and fix everything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same sort of because of Trippier reasoning, really, for me.
Yeah. Okay, Miguel Almiron, Alex.
Do you want to start this one?
No. This is all yours, buddy.
Right, we love Miggy. He's great. He's great, but it's time. I'm sorry, Miggy.
Yeah,
we love you, but it's time. I know that you're a bit rusty, mate. I know you've not been used a lot, but that was really bad. I mean, there was 5 minutes in the end of the first half where it was a bit better, but it was really bad. To the fact that Kieran Trippier was so exasperated, what you built a partnership with this man in right back, and it was like you've never seen it, you've never met each other before. It was so bad. Please don't do that. That was meant to be a shop window performance for him, so we could justify a bit of a fee.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go with a 2 because I don't think it was quite as disastrous as what Sean did, because I think Miggy tried a bit more.
I agree. I think Miggy tried a bit more, absolutely, which is why I'm giving him 0.5 ahead of Longstaff. So Miggy for me gets a 1. He offered nothing, and I said very early on in the commentary yesterday, Alex, what I'd wanted to see from Miggy yesterday was similar to what Murphy and Gordon had been doing: is get the ball and take your man on, take him on. This is League 2 opposition. Go and have a go. And not once did I see him. Well, he tried to run like a headless chicken a couple of times. It came to nothing. He just. I'm exasperated with him now. I really am.
Odutayo was the wing back. And I'm sorry. Well done, Mr. Idris, because that is a player who scored against PSG in the Champions League, and you basically had him in both pockets quite convincingly.
George says there that Chris Remembermore says it puts him in the same bracket as of a dog running around at the beach. You know, when you see the dogs running around chasing seaweed and sticks and chasing seagulls and stuff, that's exactly what Miggy does. Right, Harvey Barnes. It's a 1 for me. I thought he was absolute dog rot. Now, listen, he may be injured. Eddie said that he was feeling an injury at halftime. I don't know whether he was just saying that. He was. But an injury from standing still and doing sweet feck all for 45 minutes. I don't understand what he was trying to do coming inside all the time, leaving Target exposed on the left-hand side so many times to do everything himself. And then when he did get the ball, he did absolute naff all with it. He had a shot in the first half, which ballooned way over the bar. I thought he was dreadful. And he needs to book his ideas up, quite frankly, because if he wants to push Gordon for a starting place, he has got to do so much more when he gets the opportunity. And he failed yesterday big time. So 1 for me. Alex?
I thought it was a bit selfish. I mean, I've not looked at this tactically in
that
detail
one.
enough.
Sorry, mate. Just when you mentioned selfish there, that one in the first half where he had 3 Newcastle players to square the ball to in the penalty area, and he tries to beat the goalkeeper at the near post. What the fuck? Just give Osula, give Miggy, well, probably Osula, the ball to put in the back of the net, and he just ignored them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a selfish performance in two manners. The first one I can't back up because I would need to check, but I do really feel like he was just leaving, like you said, leaving Matt Target out to dry. Maybe it was because he just wanted to take his chance. Maybe it was an instructional decision that he was allowed to just go and do that because we had enough defensive cover. So maybe it's not Harvey Barnes' fault at all. Maybe that was instructional. Personally, I do. From what I was watching, it looked like Matt Target was giving him a hard time just by taking a lot on himself. And then, like you said, secondly, just not bringing others into play when it was possible. The 3 shots at goal, 1 blocked, 3 off target. He tried to do Miley's goal himself as well, and it went over. I'm going to give him points for the attempts because he got himself into positions to have attempts. He tried to beat someone at the near post, but yeah, not. It's one of those. Look, you don't have to score, Harvey. You've just got to put in a reasonable performance. Like I feel like he just has to score a goal, and that's not always necessarily what's needed in football. You need your team to win, and if your contributions can help get goals, it doesn't have to come from you. I don't know. I just feel like he's in a bit of a weird purgatory place with his career. Like he started off, he broke into the England team. He was going to be the next big thing. Then Anthony Gordon is just really good, and that's not Harvey Barnes' fault. But I didn't like his performance. I think he was over trying because I think he's really trying to shine. I'll go with a 3, so I'll give him a couple of points higher than Sean for the shots and a bit of stuff. But I can't really comment on the injury because we don't know what's true and what's not true. So
Andy C83, who's been a member for 10 months now, says, evening, lads. I think that game just shows the lack of depth we have. If we want to play in Europe, we need better than Longstaff, Barnes and Miggy. I'd 100% agree with that. And I said that earlier on. We're a couple of injuries away from having these back in the side.
But you say that. I mean, what's Barnes as goal scoring at the moment? So far this season.
Maybe I'm being a little harsh on Harvey Barnes, but I know where Andy's coming from there.
No, I know, but he is on 5 goals and 1 assist from only less than 800 minutes. So what he's at, and he's won us points this season. Let's not forget
Alex,
that.
we paid £40 million for him, mate.
Oh no, I agree.
I think that's the biggest letdown. I think is the price we
it's
paid
not his
for
goal
him.
scoring. I think we've now got the reverse of the Maxi effect. I think we've got somebody that's giving us goals and assists in moments, but the rest of the contribution to the game itself is so lacking. We've got the complete reverse. And I would rather take a hit and have somebody who's maybe middle of the road goals, but is also pretty good at contributing to the team as a whole. And I think Barnes is lacking the pace, and maybe it's just because we're comparing him to Gordon, because we look at Gordon on the left and it's just such a step down when Barnes plays in terms of tenacity, energy, pace. It's difficult to judge. It really is. I don't think he's going anywhere, by the way, guys. Not at all. So we won't make money on him.
Maria says people on this channel are very harsh on Barnes. He's not bad. Gordon is just too good. Look,
I think that's fair as well.
Yeah, I think it's fair. But then when you look at Barnes's performance, you know, Harvey Barnes wants to be banging on Eddie Howe's door and keep the pressure on Eddie Howe and on Anthony Gordon to get his place in the starting lineup. But performances like that will do him no good at all. You've got to step up when you get these moments to impress. Will Osula, Alex?
Ooh. I'm going to give him a 10 because he scored on his full start, his first senior start at St. James's Park. What a lad. So many people were just saying, oh, he's not going to make it because he's just too raw. Yeah, whatever. He put those attributes to good use, and he absolutely stuck one top bins. So, well, it wasn't top bins, but it was a great goal. Left-footed as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of basically everybody that's tried to do that on our right-hand side this season has not been able to do it. So I know he played up front, but that was engineered from the right-hand side, and everybody who's tried that has not been able to pull that off. So, well done. 10 out of 10.
I've given him a 9.
Boo.
I knew the boos were going to come, I know. But listen, I'll give him a 9. It would have been a 10 because he should have had 2 goals yesterday because he was clean through on goal and decided to try and pass to Harvey Barnes instead of scoring the goal. Completely.
I've watched it again. I'm not so sure that's what he tries.
Well, either that or he sort of lost his balance, was bundled off the ball. I don't know what it was.
And 2 players on him. Like, he did well to round the keeper, and then it was
maybe, but he still didn't score it, so he gets a 9 from me.
Purely for scoring on your senior debut at St. James's Park in a competitive match. What a moment for him! Like, I'm just going to go listen for that.
He'll remember it forever. That was just a stunning strike, and to be fair, he didn't get all that good service yesterday. You know, we didn't get any crosses in for him that were worth of note.
He's not a Geordie. He's from Denmark.
Yeah, he's not a Geordie.
We're talking about different people. He's Danish.
Yeah, I don't. Well, maybe somebody's watching behind a little bit and is commenting on somebody else. Yeah, maybe talking about Miley. I don't know. Barnes is the new scapegoat. He's a luxury player. He's a luxury player, and Paul and Billy spend every week slating him constantly. It's all about opinions, but Barnes could win the Ballon d'Or, and you lot would sell him. That's a ridiculous comment. Harvey Barnes is never going to win the Ballon d'Or. And I don't criticize him every week. If you watch every week, we actually raved about him a few weeks ago when he was playing really well and scoring goals. But that's what you do. You praise when they're playing well, and then if they don't play very well, you say they don't play very well.
I think the issue is with Barnes is we let him off on his lack of tracking and physical contributions to the team because he was scoring. But then when he stopped scoring as well, you've suddenly got nothing. You've got not really much work rate within the team, and you're not getting any goals or assists out of it. So it's doubly bad. Whereas if Murphy has an off game, we know he tries really hard, works hard defensively, starts counter-attacks, brings others into play. So even if Murphy has an off day, he still does other things. When Harvey Barnes has an off day, there's not much to praise. It's really off. I think that's kind of our point here.
Yeah, listen, I don't actually mind Harvey Barnes. I think the potential for Harvey Barnes, he's a good goal scorer. He's got a lot of talent, but sometimes he doesn't use it. Right, Bruno and Gordon on at half time, Alex. So do you want to rate Bruno and Gordon?
I do. Bruno was really enjoying himself. I was just every time he had the ball and people were closing him down, I was closing my eyes that he wasn't going to get snapped. But yeah, he was just having fun. He didn't care at that point. The game was won. We scored within the first few minutes when he came on.
Mm.
And then, yeah, I'm going to go with an 8. I thought he was enjoying himself. It's like he was playing on the beach.
And Gordon?
Gordon, I think he actually won 0 duels, but that's weird. But I actually liked his performance. I think he gave a lot more energy and zip. We were missing that. We were playing a lot faster because we had Bruno and Gordon. Gordon helped with that as well. And they weren't able to get set in that defensive shape as quickly, which got us way more opportunities. And he scored a penalty. So I'll go for an 8 as well.
Yeah, same as me. I've gone for 2 8s as well. Bruno was in his element yesterday. He loved being out there. Didn't matter who he plays. He just enjoys his football. Gordon took his penalty very well. Looked dangerous. Sanusi, Alex.
Trevan Sanusi, senior debut. Welcome, young man. Difficult game for him. I think his mother needs to put his studs in his boots because he couldn't stay on his feet. However, I don't think it suited his game too much. I think Trevan Sanusi is considerably better when he starts running and he gets up to a little bit of speed to then do some trickery. He was having to do everything from a stop-start with sometimes 2 players in front of him. He found it quite tough to get around his man. But you could see on a couple of occasions the flair was definitely there. I'm just going to go for a flat 7 and say, well done. You got your debut. Good lad. You can tell he's still got a lot of work to do in the youth academy, though. He needs to get a bit more physicality. Yeah. But
which Eddie spoke about. Eddie spoke about Sanusi and said that he's done well this season. He's kept an eye on him, deserved his chance, and now it's about taking his game to the next level and keep improving.
It'll be good in 12 to 18 months' time if we can. It depends how he develops physically. Bearing in mind, though, guys, I do have concerns we might sell him, possibly.
Well, funny enough, Jamie Miley's been called back from his loan, and that looks like that's going to be a sale. So that was reported last week as well, of course, that Newcastle were looking at doing that. Now, Lewis Hall did come on, Alex. Was he on for long enough?
Yeah, it was a double change. Hall and Sanusi came on at the same time.
Okay, so Lewis Hall.
So Lewis Hall came on the 69th minute and won 4 ground duels, which is four more than Sean did with his 0. Considering he was only on for, I don't know, 20 and a bit minutes.
20 and a bit minutes, yeah.
Look, I really enjoyed Matt Targett's performance. I thought he was good, but Lewis Hall is a freak of nature. When he came on that pitch, the visual difference in first touch, pass, awareness, kid's amazing. Just ridiculous. He's just so good. I'm going to give him a 9 just because he just looked elite when he came on. Just the awareness, the movement, the zip. I just really like watching Lewis Hall play football. He's really enjoyable to watch because he's just great. He's so good.
I've given the same mark, Alex. Just you can see the class.
I don't think he did enough to justify that mark. It was just he
was fantastic.
Style points because
he was absolutely awesome. He's just an incredible player. Peter says, how many of the other top 4 clubs would have Miggy?
Top 4 clubs?
Top 4 clubs? None.
I think we'd struggle to get a Premier League sale in general, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I think your Brentfords, Bournemouths, they wouldn't go near him. Like, you're looking at Ipswich. Would Leicester would Leicester take him? I don't know if they would. I genuinely don't know. I mean, Southampton might take him. I'm not sure Southampton would take him. They've got Dibbling and Adam Armstrong in behind the striker. I don't think Miggy's going to do better than what Dibbling and Armstrong have done.
I think Miggy's best bet is probably a different league. Finally, the manager Eddie Howe, Alex.
Hey, Sandro came on for 6 and a bit minutes.
Yeah, we're not voting. Sandro was just...
Oh, poor Sandro. Yeah, but he did his customary... I tell you what, they always do that. When he comes on late, Bruno and Sandro have to do a little... I got sick of commentating on that because it was Bruno, Tonali, Sandro.
Bruno.
But they do it every time.
Every time. Yeah, get on with it, lads. How are
just to inflate their passing statistics a little bit. They love to just sit there and ping a few passes. It's great.
Crazy. Anyhow,
I'm gonna give him a 10.
Okay.
Because he made like 9 changes, got loads of players good minutes, no injuries. Well, I guess Barnes. He got Sanusi his debut. He's obviously he's worked with Will Osula all the way up to this start. Deserves credit for that. Deserves credit for getting the rotation right, for getting the subs right, for us to go and kick on and win that game convincingly.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a 10.
I've gone for a 9. Very similar reasons. I've deducted a point because we conceded a goal. I know that wasn't Eddie Howe's fault, but you know
it's not. Yeah, it's not Eddie Howe's fault. Sean doesn't go for a second ball.
Well, it is because he picked Sean.
Been screaming
because he picked him. But there you go. Listen, Eddie Howe's on fire at the minute. He can do very little.
He's
wrong.
got to play him in case he needs him, hasn't he? So
yeah. Right. Before we go, let's have a look at the poll, shall we, and see who's won the viewers' man of the match from yesterday. Would you like to have a guess, Alex?
Guys, if it's not Lewis Miley 90%, you're a disgrace. It's obviously got to be.
Wow, that's a little bit harsh.
I'm just doing Arteta things.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
the ball's fault.
Well, Lewis Miley did get the man of the match, the viewers' man of the match award on 81%, followed by who was second? Bruno and Gordon on 8%, Matt Target on 6%, and Will Osula on 5%. So there are the results of the poll. That is it, guys, for the match review. Thank you so much for joining us. We are back yet again tomorrow. We have myself at 11:30 with a press conference reaction. We'll have a chat and discuss what Eddie's had to say about the upcoming game against Wolves. And then tomorrow night, we have the Wolves preview. So we'll take a look at how Wolves are doing. We'll take a look at us, put a team together again. That shouldn't be difficult, certainly for the Premier League side, because we are absolutely flying at the moment. Thank you for everybody that's recently subscribed. Currently on 35,007. So thank you very much to everybody who has recently subscribed to the channel. Our next target is, of course, 36. But given that we've gone from 34 to 35 in just slightly over 2 weeks, is quite impressive. So thank you very much, everybody. Absolutely fantastic. Massive thank you to Mamaroo Records, our sponsor, of course. Check them out in Whitley Bay. If you can't get into the shop, like I said, check them out online. That's pinned at the top of the description. Thank you for your super chats and your memberships. Mods, brilliant as usual. Thank you to Alex. And, of course, thank you to you guys for spending an hour and a bit with us tonight, going over the game. This will be up as a podcast in about an hour's time if you listen to it on iTunes or Spotify or whatever you listen to as your favorite podcast. And we will see you all again tomorrow, folks. Thank you very much and good night.
Adios, Miguel.
Come back and check out some